So before we start, so for the folks on Zoom, the way that this is worked is that we'll go over the presentation, and then any questions that you may have, post them onto the chat box. We'll repeat them out loud here for everybody in person, and then we'll give our answer. I think that's the best way to communicate. So, happy Wednesday. There's a lot of you here today. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope it's on right. I hope you want to be here. Thank you guys. Appreciate everybody showing up today in support. So we're having our quarterly town hall today on July 13th, 2022. We are about, what, 3.5 months into our new space, roughly?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So we're very excited to start getting back in the rhythm of having these town halls on a quarterly basis so that we can touch base as a community in terms of what's happening at the factory, also getting feedback from you folks, circling back on things that we've discussed in our last meeting and anything else that's on anybody else's mind. So I sent out the deck on Slack. Everybody should have that. After we're done with the meeting, I will send out meeting minutes as well with the deck and an additional PDF that we have and we're going to show in this meeting along with the meeting minutes, if I can say that already. So usually, we like to start off with, kind of just talking about what's going on in the space. I thought this time we'd try something a little bit different by making sure that we circle back on everything that came back in our last meeting. So we just want to make sure that you feel that we are listening to your feedback, that we are addressing concerns that you're bringing up. So I guess what I would like to start off with, some of it is the conference room details. At our last town hall, we talked about, what can we do with our conference rooms to make sure that they are visible, that what is a conference room, what's the name of it, for guests, for clients and whatnot. A few weeks ago, we sent out these decal possibilities to be put on the glass.
Sorry.
Thanks. So what we did here was that we had Sam, our designer at Bionet, kind of go out to all the neighborhoods websites and get an idea from what they're using as a logo. And we just got to put a little bit of a factory spin on it. It's not very drastic from what they have. We just want to make it a little more personal to our space. The colors can change. So those are not, those are just suggestions. We would love to have this put into our conference rooms in the next few weeks. I don't know if it's possible to get a quick feedback on this, whether or not it looks okay, if you would prefer to look something different. Is it too clean? Do we want something a little more organic? Yes.
Designs are cool. I think if I didn't know this place that well, I leave it right now, and I just saw a sign on it that said Heritage Hill, it would look like a bumper sticker for Heritage Hill. And I wouldn't understand that that's a concept. So what do you think about editing? Is that too obvious or not? I don't know if that's good. Like if that's the problem.
That's a really
versus a company called Heritage Hill.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, or like not or context or
okay.
I don't know. I think that I think that having.
Does anybody have any other comments about that? Like, does that make sense? No?
That makes sense to me.
In terms of like the look of the logos, are we okay with it? Would we be okay with signing up? Minus adding conference room or what have you?
I like that you're using their.
Yes. We don't want, so these were only for here. We certainly don't want to put them out because we know that there's probably some sort of, what do you call it, copyright or some trademarks. So it would just be for internal use only. Okay. What's that? The lawyers.
That's fine.
Okay, perfect.
My only thought is like if you could sometimes places apply like a directional component to help you identify where it is. So I don't know if you want to do like west side, east village, and that north side.
we'll just have to go back to Thornburg just for a
Yeah.
second.
West Grand is just across the river, so.
Okay.
Might be an option.
Perfect.
Yes. We're on an angle here, so it's difficult.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. The next thing that came up at our last meeting was access to the stairwell. So a lot of you would like to get in your steps and walk up. Unfortunately, we found out that that is not going to be an option, at least for a while here. So the landlord is wonderful. They're amazing. But in certain cases, they can be a little bit, shall we say, economical. So I guess putting key cards can be pretty expensive, or the key card readers. So at this moment, they're holding up. They know we want it. We're probably going to continue following up with them. But at this moment, at least not in the immediate future, will be happening. But you can't take the stairwell down. You just can't get up.
Just like your place.
A little bit. Also, another thing that came up at our last meeting was our meetup groups. So there was suggestion from the community about having like a script or like a leader of a meetup group when they have their meetings here to talk about the factory and what we have. Again, if we're providing the space, maybe we can get some shout outs, some marketing out there. And we are working on that. We are currently actually about to sign up another group called GDG, Google Development Group, I think it was. They're about to have their first event here on the 27th. They are supposed to be a pretty large group. They would have it after hours, maybe about 5:30 to maybe 8 or so. Once we find out the concrete date and times, I'll definitely share that with the entire community. But we are asking, if you're going to use our space, please be an advocate for the factory. So we appreciate that. I think that's very fair. It's kind of like an exchange of services sort of thing. It works well for everybody. There was also a lot of comments regarding some convenience amenities in the space. So one of the things that came up were we need more furniture in the bathrooms. So we have added some additional pieces of furniture into all the bathrooms. So you will notice that there's some cabinets that have personal products, personal hygiene products. We've also added more furniture in the shower room. So there's hooks, bench, and everything. There's probably some more stuff coming in, but we are definitely keeping that in mind so that there's everything available in the space so you don't have to step out to any of the other businesses around. There was also coat hooks. We added more coat hooks. We'll probably add a few more. So that's definitely a continued work in progress. Kitchen, we added more utensils into the kitchen. We also added some clean supplies. If you notice, there's a new cabinet underneath the kitchen sink. So it covers up some of the stuff that was out there. I'm trying to think, what else am I being missing?
Espresso machine.
The espresso machine.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you haven't tried it out or need a tutorial, let us know. But super easy to use. And we're currently have beans from Madcap, but we're actively using Sparrows. We're using their Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter? Yes. Oh no, High Five. Sorry, High Five Bros. That's super good. Anything else I'm missing in this one?
Yeah. We had them do maintenance on the big copy machine, and they added a water filter. So if you hear the little weird like rattling sound, it's the new water filter. So
Yeah, so they did like a full tune-up on it.
Does it do hot water faster?
no, unfortunately.
It's so slow.
Maybe it's slow just going to the filter. Right? So
I
you can
feel
feel good about
there's
having it.
another-
I'm just looking at it. It's slow. But you can feel so clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, super duper clean. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's part of my meditation. When I pour my tea, it's like, hot water inside of it. 5 deep ones.
But now it's super clean. Yeah, now it's actually super hot too, I feel like.
And it's, yeah, I think it tastes a little better. I don't know why. Maybe it's just psychological.
If anybody has any, comments, let us know. Trying to think if there was any other items. I think I wrote them all here, but if there's anything that we're missing, just let us know. We're gonna talk about a few more things that we added in a couple slides. But again, we just want to make sure that as you all share feedback, that we make sure that we close the loop on this. So go to the next one. Oh, that's the amendments. There you go. So when we moved in here, we set up, Frederick cut this out with a survey about giving us feedback about the new space. And some of you filled it out, which we greatly appreciate. But there was someone who actually did really fill it out. Like they went to town. And bless their heart, because we actually need this. We need that kind of sobering feedback. It wasn't a glowing review, but I loved it because we need to hear these things. So based on some of the things that this individual shared in their survey, we've updated some things around here, and we hope that it's improving the factory. If it's still missing stuff, please do not be shy to share us. I rather would hear the bad than all just good, because if I don't know what's the bad, then we can't address it. And our goal is always to make sure that you all are happy. So one of the first things is the printing allowance. So for the longest time, the factory has always charged a certain amount for copies, printing, whether it's color or black and white. And we are completely disposing of that. We're just gonna let it be for what it is. We are putting like an allowance of 50, because when we look at the reports, there just isn't enough. So if you go over 50, maybe you might see something. If it doesn't, then you won't ever hear from me. So we think that it's just something that it's a good amenity to have. Other workspaces allow, give it to you as an included of the membership. So why wouldn't we? And that was part of the feedback that we got from this person.
Change how we connect the printers, so like, the last 4 digits thing.
Yes.
Still kind of tracking it, just kind of.
Yeah, if someone goes like crazy, like print
Yeah,
1,000
you wanna know,
pages,
yeah,
we'll
like,
still get you
Why
a
don't
charge.
run out of like all 10,000 pages?
Yes.
Entire books.
You'll still get a bill.
Buy it from school.
Community monitors, also another thing that came from this review. So we have added a total of 7 community monitors in our hot desking area. Those are all first come, first serve. They all have HDMI cables or converters so that you can plug into your laptops. The person who filled the review said, we need more of that. And just because people don't want to haul a bunch of stuff, and we understand that residents can have their workspaces, but everybody should have kind of like a similar work environment. So we believe that that was legitimate. So we've added all these monitors are on the other side. We may end up adding more at some point, I think. We're just kind of testing that out, see how much continued demand there is, and we get more comments. I'm thinking about putting some here, but I just don't know how this would work because it's just a high top, but maybe on this one. But furniture updates. So we've also added a bunch of new furniture into the space. Again, part of the comments that we got from that review. So you'll notice new ottomans, new couch. Yes? Great, thank you. Side tables. We're trying to kind of make it cozy. We've heard now that a few people have used this first call room as a nap room, which is great. You know what? If it works for you, awesome. So there's now an ottoman and a cushion and a little stand for your coffee, and there's a blind. So turn off the lights and go to bed. Have fun. What else did we? Oh, conference rooms. All the conference rooms have new tables now, including our learning center. So they now have power modules that are built into the tables. So it's just a little more of a smoother surface. They are all detachable and completely movable, so we can also reconfigure the rooms. There is a few more pieces of furniture that we're still working on, some repairs, but nothing super, super critical, I will say. I think we've received everything right now, right?
One more tip.
One more table. We also got new furniture in the reception area. So from our last town hall, we didn't have those chairs. We are going to do some tweaks in terms of the look up front, but and we'll talk about that in a second. But for the most part, everything that you see will be as it is. Video conferencing equipment, that's also something that we've added. So there is 2 or 3?
I think
Two video conferencing cameras, and what do you call them?
just a mini PC.
Yeah, mini PCs that are in the largest room over there and this one, so that, again, whether it's for room rentals or us that want to just plug in and have a big conference, it's just an added amenities, added equipment that everybody's able to use.
So you can do like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet on a little computer. And also has an extended microphone, so you can put the microphone in the middle of the table. So just makes it a little more convenient.
And the camera will pick up it's not like a one person station. It's
Yeah, they're pretty wide view cameras. So we had a group in that end conference room and it picked them all up great.
We also put in conference, the conference quote, so also available as well. The fiber internet was installed.
Finally.
What was that?
Right.
No, this was about a month ago now. Finally, you probably didn't notice any difference. Maybe a little bit faster. We tweaked DNS resolution for the computer nerds out there, so a little faster connected to the websites. And we also still have the Comcast internet. So if for some reason the fiber goes down, it'll automatically fail over to the Comcast. So we should hopefully never have any internet outages. And we do have a firewall. Once in a while, it'll block something. It just hit me the other day. Like I was going to a website and it's like, this website's in Russia, so it blocked it. So we're not trying to block anybody or anything, but sometimes it'll pick something and just block it. Let me know if you're getting blocked from anything. One person.
Pretty obvious error that says like.
Yeah, it's like
firewall.
Russian Federation. It's like this big screen that's like blocked.
I think the question is, why are you going to a Russian website?
Well, it was a archiving site so you can view news articles, old articles. For some reason, it's in Russia. I don't know. But if you run into that, just let me know. We'll fix it. We had one person that ran into it. I think they were looking up like vaping, and it was like a little bit too broad, so it blocked that. So we unblocked that. We're not in the business of censoring anything, so we're just it's just a security thing.
Espresso machine again. So we're super happy about that. It took a little while. There was another one that we were looking at, but that would not have arrived yet. Actually, it was not out until August, I think, right? But we like kicked in. We did everything at the store, and this was like titanium. I feel like it's sturdy. It does the trick. So we hope everybody's enjoying it. We're super excited about this. So Frederick has been helping us again with getting information, your votes. So based on your feedback, everybody felt that it would be best to hold it on August 4th of this year. So we are super stoked about it. We, of course, I think, what would you say? Our love language is to, give food, give drinks, all that. So that'll be part of our pub crawl theme a little bit. But here's a few things that I want to throw out there that we should make some decisions, hopefully, pretty quickly here. So one is the neighborhood. Where in the city do we want to do this? I think you folks have done like the downtown area. I feel like maybe I heard Bridge Street in the past.
Yeah. Cherry Street.
Cherry Street.
Cherry.
So wherever the community wants to go is where we'll go. One thing I do want to throw out there is that Ben, who works at Rubico, who works at the office on the other end, and withdrew, did an amazing connection for us through the Chamber of Commerce with the folks at Barfly Ventures. So if you don't know who they are, they're the people that are involved with Hopcat, Stella's, and GRBC, or Grand Brewing Company. And they have offered to partner with us on several different things. One of them being their arcade room at GRBC, where they would host us back there and give us $2 beers. Just throwing this out there. Another thing that they've also offered is to have a free beer fridge at the factory in exchange for them using our space here and there. I talked to Michelle over at Barfly last week, and I told her, I'm like, look, I'm having this meeting. This is amazing. We gladly would partner with you, but I wanted to first present it before I said yes to anything. The arcade room at GRBC doesn't have to be during our pub crawl. It can be at a different time. It's just that I just want to throw it all out there. And then the other thing to consider is t-shirts. If we do want to have a t-shirt, we gladly would order some. We just need to decide if we want them so we can get them like yesterday.
Yeah. Supply chain.
So this is where I'll stop talking for a second, and I would love to hear what you guys think.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a very good deal for the factory. So it feels like a pretty nice olive branch for accept that and like, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, I love the game world. I love shooting hoops and I get very competitive, but I think it's a great place to like, I don't know, you have activities and it's very conducive to start a conversation. So, yeah, I like it.
That in the past, I think it's when we started at the not often, some of the ones that I've done.
Okay.
And there has been a component whereby minors could attend, so I'm curious, just at some point. But
Yeah,
if we went to that place, is that a total?
No, I
don't
think
think
I think it is family oriented until,
Yeah, you're right.
Eight?
Yeah, whatever. it's at.
Yeah.
The early part.
yeah, no. And yeah, our events, we feel like most of them, if not all, are conducive for family. So yes, if you want to bring little people.
that's a good point, especially that beginning of,
Well, that's just like, because it's just there, or then they like that, right? And 2 weeks.
Sure.
yeah,
Future.
your voice is definitely.
I think they would be.
Okay.
So I make the t-shirts.
Okay. T-shirts, let's start with T-shirts. Does
There's a
anybody have?
comment.
Oh, sorry. So, love the looks and graphics, folks. Brandy. T-shirts, always a yes. Okay. Does everybody feel good with the T-shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, obviously.
Yes. Well, yes. Well, what do you folks feel about maybe perhaps recycling one of our old logos just because we haven't done this in a while? Or do we want a brand new one?
Here's it, time is up, yes.
Yeah, we have like 2 weeks, so it'll just be one font. It'll say the factory. No, we'll figure out something.
Okay.
Maybe we could do that next week.
Would you want to explore doing a neighborhood outside of downtown, or does maybe the arcade room sound attractive?
Maybe like Eastern Hills, City Belt, Speakeasy,
Oh, yeah.
like the garage, kind of that.
Okay.
And how, where is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's called the North Monroe neighborhood, isn't it? So let's just call it the North Monroe. Sure. Walking distance. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you all to raise your hands for a second. If you are maybe going with North Monroe and then we limit you to 3 stops and we figure out what those 3 stops, raise your hand if that sounds like a cool area to stick with. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have the majority. Okay.
But also, so does like the having the arcade room.
Yeah.
Share the seat. So we got a wall, we'll raise all the that too.
We can do multiple events.
Yes, we can. Yeah, the arcade room is always an option. So it doesn't have to be this just one time. There's always an option.
Ben says why not both?
September,
What's that?
maybe do something in September. It's like a different group.
Like winter, evening, or
Good point.
non-summer.
Okay.
Yeah, something like a special, not like a huge amount, but like a whole special, like here 30 hours type of thing, and then, yeah, we can like pick up our kid from school.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to do an early
Book that early.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right.
You know, sometimes you do holiday parties like in January, and that's.
That too? Yeah.
That's true, yeah, especially because like we're all busy with holidays.
Yeah.
So, we do folks,
Yeah. So that's always it's always on the table. So we can definitely do that.
you know, tell them we want it free for New Year's.
Yeah, and then the space we're gonna let them rent also. Yeah.
All right. So the takeaway: North Monroe definitely t-shirts. I'll throw in some stops or reps, and then we'll go from there. But the 4th, mark it on your calendars, please. For this one, we're gonna do it. I think normally you folks start at 3, 4 o'clock. Is that how it started? I've never done one of these, so.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it was definitely sort of before dinner.
Okay.
For sure.
So
Not
let's
that anyone needs to-
say for 3:30,
It wasn't like a 7. No,
Okay.
yeah, it was
early in the day,
it was
right?
like before the end of the workday.
I think you pregame and then
Yeah.
you went places.
Yeah.
And then I never saw you. the rest.
But the pregame was important.
Yes, so I think it was like maybe like.
Coffee, tacos.
or
It's
something
been
something like that. You all got dressed at the factory. And, like,
Sounds like it was fun.
Yeah. How many t-shirts were there on the list?
yes.
Well, and I'll follow up with this week at the latest, and definitely the t-shirts and all that. So keep an eye out on this in the general tab, please. The 4th, please mark your calendars for the 4th. Next one is our mural. So we are very excited that we're gonna get a mural. It is going to go in the wall that's next to the drinking fountain, or where the drinking fountain is. We are working with Maddie Chaffer, who, of course, the last name may sound familiar to y'all. It is very, very exciting. So we included a link to her website on our deck, so I'm sure I'll have it. She has amazing work, and she's done a ton of work all around town. We're just super, super excited. So Maddie came over a few weeks ago to get some insight about what we want for the factory. Jeff and I explained, but essentially, all creative control goes back to Maddie, and we're just kind of waiting on a proposal. We're hoping that it will be completed sometime between July and August. It sounds like it might be like maybe a day, 2-day ordeal, but as soon as we have what we're gonna put on the wall, we'll let you all know.
The cool aerial order.
We need something on the walls. It's a little white. So yes, more to come on that, but we were very excited to announce it. So the next thing that I kind of had mentioned was new space, new look. So we've been experimenting a lot about our look in terms of our online presence, social media and whatnot. Sam, our person at Binet, has worked tirelessly to just come up with the next amazing concept. So we wanted to present it to you all so we can get some feedback again. We're not really launching much of it until we kind of feel like we have a buy-in from the community. There is going to be a PDF that's going to be sent out to all of you when all this goes out one more time, that goes over the branding, the tone, the audience, your color schemes, if you want to pull it up real quick. I've talked to some of you about kind of what we were looking for. I said a lot about like a nod to the 70s, very retro. And, I don't always kind of have the right words to explain why gravitate to certain things. I mean, hopefully this brand story helps a little bit more, but just to kind of real quick summarize and skim on top. The 70s, of course, there's fun, bubble letters, it's just organic. We wanted to bring that into a space that's maybe a little modern, a little white. So, but in addition to that, we feel like since Jeff and I have come into the factory, a lot of things have happened. COVID, we took a lot of time to, close and then come back, and things are still, not 100%, but we're slowly moving forward. But we still feel like we want to do like a nod to the good old days, good old days of co-working, where we were all together and huddled up in tables before we had to keep 6 feet apart. Or, the other thing, if you can scroll down, in terms of our member clipboards, we wanted to add something to the front. Again, with a little move down, further down. Right. Thank you. It was a little more organic, a little different, fun.
It's like a 70s baseball card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why the circle as an example? The circle to us represents continuity, infinity, which is the continuity from the old factory in our old location to our new space. We want to make sure that that is something that is alive, that the old factory, no matter where it's located, it's still the factory. it also represents to us a little bit of like a new dawn. So we were at our old space for what, 9, 10 years, and now we're starting all over again. But it doesn't mean that it's something different. It's just a new chapter of our story. So please take a look at the branding, the deck once we send it out. Like I said, we're just having a lot of fun with kind of like organic shapes and putting it together. Our website is going to reflect that. We have a new color palette that we're working with many more colors than we had in the past. So yeah. You have any comments? No?
No, it's been a lot of work and a lot of back and forth and a lot of iterations, but I'm excited. It's out of the box, and that's what I like about it.
Yes. So, do you have any strong feelings about this? No, I really want to hear your opinion because we don't want to really deploy anything until we kind of hear if this is something that identifies with it. Yep.
Ben thinks it's awesome.
Yay!
I like the idea of wonderful space.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like the pages, it's fun.
Yes. Yeah, we're painfully aware that it was very, very stark when we moved in here, and so as you know, we've been updating the furniture and adding plants slowly, and
Both of your shirts today are
good, good. So yeah, it's a work in progress for sure.
Go to the next one. That corner. So this is again giving more space for you all to share what's going on. So one of the things that we wanted to bring up was the expert series. So we posted good 4 or 5 of them, so 4, 3 or 4.
4.
And we wanted just to kind of get a little bit more feedback in terms of like, what do you folks want to see? What would these kind of spark your interest? You know, is the programming that we're putting out there, is it hitting the mark, or are we way off base? What would be, what would you like to see?
I have an idea around bringing back some of the types of content that have more personal development rather than sharing professional lessons.
Okay.
We've done different types of personality tests and habit training, and ice breaking, and things like that that I think could be interesting. So it's like trying to tap into how people are optimizing their life on the outside of their traditional job.
Okay. So personal development.
Yeah, interesting.
Anybody else?
I know not everybody obviously has kids or anything. It's more like focus on that or
Okay.
anyone can show up, but it's not.
Okay.
Both Ben and John have comments here.
You want to read them?
Ben says, any thoughts about inviting the greater community to join? Maybe post to meetup.com and others to share with people outside of our space. John says, offbeat expert series ideas. Several members are going through issues of elder care, estate handling, and so on. Could there be a presentation from a family law expert voice?
Because on certain times it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like the tax law.
Yeah, that's super. Yeah.
Good suggestions. Thank you.
It's the efficiency there.
Do we?
Brett Carr.
Okay.
And he's got a second too. Answer earlier, small business tax questions.
Yeah, I mean, this is all, it's really good. We are actually, though, we should post on Meetup. We don't do that, but we do generally put our links out on Facebook and LinkedIn too, so that, yes, folks outside the factory can join. It is a community event.
Ben, comment?
I think we need to find a balance of Zoom versus in person. The long conference room can make it hard sometimes to be comfortable with the gear. But we do need to up our game in terms of videoing the expert series. It's been a little bit haphazard, so we need to get that solidified for sure.
Guys,
Looking at Frederick, we can work on that.
I'm not techie at all, so this is all, thank you guys, I appreciate it. Any other comments? Anybody, any other thoughts regarding?
I think in terms of what Ben said there, the wider community, it's not something that we put on the slides. I forgot to mention it to you, but we talked about doing like a factory reunion. So we have like 12 years worth of membership email addresses. And so we're just like blasting them all and saying, hey, we're at a new location. Let's have an open house. You know, we've never really had an open house here yet because we were waiting for all the furniture and all that. So it's something we thought of as having kind of a reunion, just everybody who's ever been a member, inviting them, and of course, welcoming anybody else as well.
Alumni events.
Yeah, yeah.
We're at the tailgate of our furniture road, so maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good.
Yep.
That's just been very helpful. I would imagine. Got that happen, because that was. It was like weird for me to be the person. Hey, everyone. I'm new. So I ran, so I just, I like. Oh, the big events are like cash. Like, yeah, we used to have.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I think like we did go out and literally. Such a big deal. Once a month, first Tuesdays. Out day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we do. It's good for a show.
So, you did bring up one thing about the games lunch that I think is important. So we've been doing on and off, in person, online. Do we still want to continue doing that? Or do we want to just go back to in person like we were before?
I'd like to say that having the options for people to
I have found it more accessible having it there every time, but I was in it before, so I didn't have to less.
Sounds like we have to write next time, right?
I like in person, so I would selfishly say let's do it in person every week.
I don't know, I never come to
But
it.
yeah, I totally get that. That's, I don't know if you want to.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
But
But I feel like but I feel like alternatively, I could like issue a small in-person
Yeah.
potentially. So, yeah, exactly. So,
except for Philip, there's a video of the Philip arcade. I tried to play that game with a teacher and we couldn't figure out the instructions.
Next thing is the kitchen cabinets. So I've received a few comments regarding, maybe they're not labeled.
They live with me.
Okay,
I opened up the wrong cabinet.
okay.
I would
I
also
can't-
say, like, more fun with it, it's like, instead of, labeling it, we'll label it, like, something.
Yeah, once I get label makers, I was just.
Or like,
It was a piece of paper that was taped up there with something.
Right.
Free boss. Yeah.
It's say,
right.
it's cool, it's like, it's a lot of
Yeah.
free,
That would like fit.
Go crazy with like a riddle.
Yes, that's-
This drawer is full of things that get better as they dry. Do you use your brain before you open the door or just open it?
Labels would be super helpful. I like keeping them clean without decorations, but yes, labels. Okay. All right, I'll go back to the drawing board and come up with some options as to how we may be able to make these a little bit more personal, shall we say. So, the other thing, trash can system. So, maybe Frederick can explain this a little better. The trash can system, what you wanted to bring up in terms of concerns or feedback that you wanted on.
So. Larger trash can. Switching out trash can that we have and have that be, recyclable. Currently, I spoke to, the building doesn't have a recycling system as we did in our old space. So large boxes and stuff, we make it to a dumpster, but like the plastic bottles that we want to recycle, that sort of thing.
Just
I don't know what
cardboard.
City Flex does, but the Indian building, yeah, it doesn't. So
We share the cardboard dumpster with City Flats.
Okay.
So we just dump stuff in there, but yeah, there's no like broader recycling, unfortunately.
That's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and, for them to put something in place, probably is going to take a while for them to find. Make these things happen. It's the same as with, our access, our communities. I'm surprised they know that they probably don't.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's something we could explore getting one of those bins like we had at the old place. Because I know there's other places in that alley that have those bins.
Okay.
Better buildings around us, so.
So what we were thinking about doing is pay for your trash, use a large trash, we would make some furniture, tables, and stuff like that for your solar hangers. Put those right there, and then possibly for paper like recycling and stuff like that. Try to come up with something that would have stacks of paper. Way to get that barrels, so it gets handled.
I signed up for my monthly contribution.
Yeah, but we also don't want to have the same situation where with our compost, we can't put it to that start off strong. Life happens.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, to the wayside. This.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we want to come up with actionable ideas and that are sustainable. So, something that started a conversation on Slack and stuff enough traction. Trying to figure out how. As it says right now, at least give it a larger trash can. solar came. See, it's hidden, barrels of things. Once it's the barrel for trash cans, for trash and one for solar cans that we have.
Follow up, you can go look into
Okay,
it.
yep, we'll look into it. Yep.
Last thing, Google reviews. We've been getting some recent ones from our visitors, which has been great. We've been asking our visitors to give us a review, especially if they love it here. But we're also asking all of you, if you haven't given the factory review, please leave us a review. We just want to make sure that, you know, it's updated. Some of them were there like for, I mean, there was a gap for a good couple
Like
of
a
years.
several year gap. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, let's just get this. It's not like there's any bad reviews, but it's like, let's keep it updated.
Yeah, so that people know that we still exist, we're still alive, we're still awesome, you know, so, yes.
I had trouble some time yesterday finding to leave a Google review, and the next year in space. And I was like, oh, that should be easy. It wasn't. So if there's a direct link for going to leave a Google review, that would be great. I don't know. It's,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a Google account, of course, but if you don't have an Android phone, you got to have Google Maps on your phone. But we can send it out.
Yeah. Yeah, be so kind. Spencer.
Are you sure we don't want to be on Yelp at the same time?
I think we are.
We're on Yelp,
We're
I
on
don't know.
Yelp, we're on Google Reviews, we're on
Apple Maps.
Apple Maps.
Yep.
So whatever your desire is, just please leave us a review.
And for the expert series, if anyone wants a fiber arts expert series, crochet or knitting or embroidery, whatever.
Okay.
Anyone wants?
It'd be kind of fun.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, you gotta make the socks now. to get the football scarf. I'm not making socks in an expert series. No, we would take a very small project. We could do like a half an hour to just get like the stitch down.
Okay.
It'd be fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
all right, so you're gonna get September, right?
Yeah, no problem.
A couple of just friendly reminders. So one, kitchen, if you could all bring your dishes back and utensils so that we can wash them on a nightly basis. If you have anything in your desk, just make sure to put it right back in the kitchen. We'll take care of it. Yes,
Forks.
the forks. I'll be getting more of those too. Espresso machine. If you utilize your espresso machine, we just ask that you clean the utensils after you're done and put them right back. If you have any trouble with it, I'm available always. Frederick is available, and so is Jeff. So just let us know. But we just ask that you clean up after yourself. We also have I don't know what it's called, but some sort of banging device that you can put your coffee puck into. So if you don't want to drop the puck into the sink, I don't know if that's a technical term.
Banging device. Yeah.
But it's right there now. After hours, if you are here before we open, after we close, or during the weekend, keep in mind that we're not here to clean up. So, make sure that wherever you are, whatever you use, that you put it back to its original state so that the space can be used as intended the next day or on Monday or what have you. So just a friendly reminder. And then also adapter. So as we're putting the monitors out in the hot desk area and even in the conference rooms, sometimes, they just kind of go missing. So just a reminder, the adapters are here for everybody to use. So just make sure they're left behind. If you took one by mistake, just bring it on back. That's it. So, was it you or who said, someone said that they were gonna zip tie them? Okay. I think that's a little aggressive, but maybe we can do that.
I think if you go to pack it up and then you see like a factory,
Yeah.
most people are probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea. So maybe we should do
We'll
that.
figure it. Yeah. The label maker we had just eats the batteries in like
Oh my
minutes.
gosh, yeah. They don't make us a
And he used like
total
8
scam.
batteries. It was just nuts. Yeah.
Yes.
That's expensive.
It
Yeah.
is expensive. It's a scam. And then last but certainly not least, open forum for anybody to throw out anything that we missed, anything that's good, anything that's bad, very similar. This is where we're last town hall. We got a lot of feedback about, you know, the bathrooms, the kitchen, things that we needed. So this is a great space for you all to just, anything that we need to work on, anything that we are doing okay, anything that we're missing, please.
I would like to say that I am very happy working with especially people in space. Sometimes working at the high top and it's like, well, hello, you know, that a positive. Thank you to all that effort. Good job. Smile, say hi or bye. Just be with to everyone that extra miles, like light up something or something or put something, you know, back in where it could be or where it's supposed to be. Forward that direction.
Look at that, we need trash bills to get. Well, I'm glad. Have work, your presence around the country, I mean, I don't know, we're all what change in us. You've been here for ages, and now it's like.
Great.
Or the walks.
More Frederick? We can do that.
Yeah.
Little tiny, maybe 2 minutes.
Sure.
More questions. Are we envelopes or slots or something in the mail? It's like, it's not on a shelf. Anything that's available.
Yeah, so we were waiting for the fiber internet to be installed actually, because we weren't sure how much space on the wall they were gonna take, and it ended up being like this much. So we have been looking at like little mailboxes or something, slots, whatever. So yeah, that's on the radar.
Just something, no, I'm always like, oh, is this one set up for? And the other one, I probably need to try furniture, but. There were a few small conference rooms that felt good for 2-person meeting, like the table always felt like 12 feet away from the. Like it was good for 4, maybe not for 2, but I probably just gonna try it.
Yeah, try out the 2 middle ones. We got the brand new tables in there, I think just a couple weeks ago. They're a little more rounded and give it a shot.
Yes.
Yeah. Is the bench working for you?
Does it need more stuff?
I think of Matt. We still need a floor mat.
Yes.
No.
No. I am not the MVP.
That's where we draw the line somewhere.
Yes, yes. I mean,
Doing your laundry is
I
that
love
line.
that you can take naps here, you can eat, you can do everything.
Nearly the landscape,
Not
Yes.
quite, not quite.
Uh,
Yeah.
there's a comment from Ben as well. Loving the space. So glad I joined. The best part is the community. I've enjoyed getting to know everyone in between the busyness of work.
That's great. A lot of trends.
Okay. Yeah, so we used to have basically a schedule of every Friday we clean out whatever's in there. So I think we just need, once Friday comes in, we're gonna throw out stuff. So if you have any food in there that you don't want to be thrown out, you know, probably stop and see if Frederick arrived, because otherwise we need gonna toss it out. But yeah, on a weekly basis, we are putting stuff out. I probably could cool it with the cans in there. I just was trying to put them all at once, so maybe I can back off a little bit on the soft drinks.
Like easier, so.
I did, well, actually, one thing that I was thinking about eliminating from it, but I don't know if anybody still uses them, are the Brita filters. Does anybody still use them? Okay, all right.
Well, keep in mind the new drinking fountain, like the bottle drinking fountain has a filter in it, so. maybe that- Yeah.
So do take up quite a bit of space. I could remove, but if people are still using them, I'll just leave them in there now. I'll find a way to get creative with some of them.
It's the drinking fountain water cooler is the same ball. Yeah, I don't know if it is or not. Then
Should be.
I do software development, so whenever we see the feature done two different ways, we try to axe one of them as unnecessary.
That's a good point. Yeah. It's always a good tactic.
No, because they won't complain. You just see a cancellation come through.
Hopefully that's not the tipping point.
You don't know. Some people, it's like, it's my Brita. Anybody else? Any other comments? Questions?
The only thing I bring up to Frederick all the time is that our ice capacity is decreased over our last location.
Yeah.
So it's like ice is a nice to have, I appreciate it, so I don't think it's a big deal, but I thought, like if we have events and whatnot, we just have to make sure we get ice. Margarita.
Oops. Lost our TV.
What's that?
Maybe we need to check it out. 'Cause it
Okay.
seems to not be producing quickly. Oh, it's full? Okay. Well,
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We went with the stuff that was on sale. So maybe that's what it is. I'm sorry.
I would have selected that though over what we had before, because you know, it's awkward to have drawer. So I would have chosen that.
we can get some ice trays.
So what I read from the manual, this tray goes empty. It takes about 8 hours. That's about 8 hours.
Oh, no.
So, I'm just guessing.
Oh, honey, no.
But if you ever run into a problem where it's full, and it's not, you can't. Pick up the bucket.
I think we're at an hour. So.
1 minute over, so I want to be respectful of everybody's time. But if there's anything, last call for comments at this moment, not ever, but just at this, for the second of this meeting. Well, thank you all. I appreciate it. We appreciate you. Please help yourself to as much pizza as you like. Let it not go to waste. Take it home. If you want to take some from your family or yourself,
If there's any
please
left,
make
yeah.
sure it doesn't go to waste.
Yep.
Thank you all for
Thank you, everybody.
everybody who joined online. We appreciate you. Don't forget that tomorrow the ice cream social is at 12:30. Bring your kids, bring your family, bring whoever you want.
Is it just like out front?
Yes, we're gonna have the band out at Rosa.
Oh, cool. Great.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.